Okay, everyone. Welcome back to Metric Hub. Thanks for tuning in. So we are going to do a June exam paper here. So we're going to do a June exam paper this is from Eastern Cape, 2024. So this is paper 1 here, okay? So we're required to solve for x. 1.1, they say we must solve for x. So we have here what? X squared minus 8, x minus 2 equals to 25. So therefore, x squared minus, so we multiply the 8 here, and so it's going to be plus 16 equals to 25. And so we bring the 25 to the side, and so we have x squared minus 8x, and then we say 16 minus 25, and we have what? We have minus 9, okay, negative 9. And then we must factorize here. So we look for the factors equals to 0. And then we have x and x here. So there's a negative 9 and negative 8. So we're going to have a negative and a positive. Okay. And then we're going to have a negative 9 and positive 1. So it means therefore x equals to 9 or x equals to negative 1. Okay. Easy. Well, is it easy? I don't know. So, okay. 1.1.2. They say correct 2 decimal places. So it means, so we have negative 3x squared plus 2x plus 2 equals to 0. So we should use, so it means therefore x equals to, we use the quadratic formula here. They say correct to 2 decimal places. So negative b squared, then minus 4ac, okay, divided by 2a. So we substitute here. So we have our b is positive 2 here. So it's going to be negative 2 plus minus b squared. So it's 2 squared minus 4. Then our a is negative 3. And then our c is 2. You multiply by 2. And then we divide by 2 into negative 3. Okay? So this thing is equal to negative 2 plus or minus the square root of, and then we have a negative 6 here at the bottom. So if we add everything here, it's going to be 4 plus 24. Okay, so it's 4 plus 24 here, which is 28. Okay, so this means that therefore x is equal to negative 2 minus root 28 all over negative 6, or x equals to negative 2 plus root 28, and then all over negative 6. So you use a calculator here. Second. So this gives us 1.22, or x equals to negative 0.55. Okay, so these are the two answers here. And then 1.1.3. 1.1.3, they say so it's an inequality plus 3, 5 minus x is less than or equal to 0. Okay, so we have to find the what? The critical values here. Okay, what are the critical values? The critical values is what? X equals to -3 or x equals to 5. These are the critical values, so we must use the number line here, and then we examine the critical values. Okay, so what we have a -3 here, and we have a +5. So we should test the inequality. We can take any number here. Let's take 0. Okay, let's take 0 here. If we place a 0 here and a 0 here, okay, we're gonna get a 15. 15 is not less than 0. Okay, so this is wrong here. See? And then we can take any number this side. Let's take 6, for example. If we put 6 here, we get a -1. So it's gonna be 6 plus 3 is 9. And then 9 multiplied by -1 from this side is gonna be -9. -9 is less than 0. So this part is correct. It gives a true statement. And then we can take any number here. Let's take -4. Okay. Let's take -4. If we substitute -4 here, what do we get? We get -4 plus 3. This will give us -1. And then this side will give us a what? A 9. So it will give us a -9 again overall, which is less than 0. Meaning this is also correct. So it means therefore, x is this side is less than or equal to -3, or x is greater than or equal to 5. So it's gonna be like that. See? So this is 1.1.3. Okay. So these are the two solutions here. Let's go to 1.2. Okay. Oh, sorry. 1.1.4. Sorry. 1.1.4. So 1.1.4. What does it say? 1.1.4, we have A. They say, for which values of x will this be undefined? Okay. So for which values of x will this be undefined? So for this to be undefined, what must happen? This must be equal to 0. So it means that the square root of x plus 5 should be equal to 0. This means that x plus 5 should be equal to 0. So this means that x should be equal to -5. Okay? So, and then they say we must solve for x. So we must solve for x here. So we have, so B says we must solve for x. So we have x plus 3 divided by square root of x plus 5 equals to 1. So this means, therefore, that x plus 3 is equal to square root of x plus 5. So this means, therefore, if we remove the square root, what do we have? We have x plus 3 squared equals to x plus 5. So it means, therefore, x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals to x plus 5. So we bring everything this side. Then we have, so if we bring this 2 to the left-hand side, we have x squared, and then we minus x, it's going to be plus 5x, and then we minus 5, and then plus 4 equals to 0. So we factorize equals to 0. Plus 1 plus 4. So it means, therefore, so these are the factors here. So it means x will be equal to -1, or x will be equal to -4. So it's -1 or -4. See, bring it that side. So that's it for 1.1. Let us look at 1.2. So we're required to solve simultaneously here. Okay. 1.2 requires us to solve for x and y simultaneously. So what do we have? We have y plus 2x equals to 5, and 2x squared minus xy minus 4y squared equals to 8. Okay, so we can say this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. Okay, and then we can create equation 3 from here. So we take the two equations. Okay, so we can have equation 2, can take 2 that side. So we can have y equals to 5 minus 2x. And we can say this is equation 3. Okay, so we formed equation 3 here. And so then we have to substitute 3 into 2, isn't it? We must substitute 3 into 2. So we put y wherever we see. So 5 minus 2x will replace y here. Okay, so it means, therefore, 2x squared minus x into 5 minus 2x, and then minus 4, and then 5 minus 2x squared. Yeah, squared. Here's the bracket. There should be a bracket there. So equals to 8. And then we solve for x here. So we have 2x squared minus 5x plus 2x squared minus 20 plus 8x. Oh, sorry about that. We should expand the bracket here. Okay, so we should start by expanding the bracket here. So it's going to be 25 minus 20x plus 4x squared, and then equals to 8. So it means therefore, so we can add the 2 here. We have 4x squared minus 5x minus 100 minus plus, it's negative, multiply by negative here, 80x, and then minus 16x squared equals to 8. So it means, therefore, when we add the 2, it's going to be negative 12x squared, then negative 5 is going to be plus 75x, and then if we minus 8, it's going to be minus 108. Okay, and then equals to 0. So then we can divide by what? By a 3, isn't it? We can divide by a negative 3. So then we are going to have 4x squared minus 25x plus, here we're going to have 36. Yes, we're going to have 36 and then equals to 0. And then we can try to factorize. So when we look at the factors here, what do we have? We have 4x squared here. And then we have 25, and then we have 36. Okay, so if we use 9 and 4, we should look for the factors here. Okay, if we put negative. Um, okay, so the factors here is going to be, so okay, we have 25 here in the middle. So if we have 2 and 18, it's going to be okay. So if we have, okay, so let's say if we have 2x and 2x, and then minus, if we have 9 and 4, okay, 9 and 4, it will give us 18 minus, yes, it will give us 18 and then minus 18 minus, okay. Okay, did we do something wrong here? No, we didn't. So, okay, 36. There's 9 and 4. Oh, 16. And then, okay, yes. So, yeah, let's use 4 and 1 here, sorry. So, okay, we look for the factors here. So, the 2 cannot work, okay? So, let's use 4x and, because if we have 4x here times 4, yes, multiplied by 4 is going to be 16 and then we add another one. Yes. So yes, this is the thing. So what's going to happen? The next thing, so the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to, so it means therefore x equals to 9/4 or x equals to 4. So it means therefore we should substitute for each value of x, we should find y, because y is equal to 5 minus 2x. So y is 5 minus 2x. So it means therefore y equals to 5 minus 2 into 9/4, or y equals to 5 minus 2 to 4. So it means therefore y equals to, or y equals to, so here is going to be -3, or here we're going to have 9/2. Here it's going to be 1/2. So these are your values for, so x and for y. So that is the simultaneous equation there. I'm sorry about the factorization. It was a bit tricky, but we found it. Okay. So, okay. Let's go to 1.3. Okay. 1.3. They say you are given that m equals to that, determine the maximum value of m. Okay. So if we are looking for the maximum value of m, yeah, it means that the denominator must be a minimum. Okay. The denominator must be a minimum for the m to be maximum. So we're going to say x equals to negative b over 2a here. So then our b is, so it's going to be -4 all over 2 into 1. Then we get a what? We get a 2. So the x must be 2 for this thing to be a minimum. Okay, so we're going to substitute 2 here at the denominator. So then we have 2 squared minus 4 into 2, and then plus 8. Okay, this is going to be equal to, and then so it's going to be 4 minus 8, which is -4, and then plus 8. It's going to be a 4. Okay, so now it means that the value at the bottom will be 4. So the maximum value of m will then be equal to 108 divided by 4, which is then going to be equal to 27 here. Okay, yeah, so this, we had to make this a minimum in so that we get the maximum value of m. Okay, so yes, that was it for question 1. Let us go to question 2. Yeah. Okay, so now let's go to question 2 here. Now, 2.1, okay, what do they want? 2.1, they say given the following arithmetic sequence here, they say determine the value of T43. Okay, so we use the formula, okay? Tn equals to A plus then n minus 1, and then into d. So it is equal to a, which is 2, plus n minus 1, which is 43. So it's going to be 42 here, because it's 43 minus 1. And then the difference here is, we look at the constant difference, which is negative 5. So you put all this into a calculator, you get negative 208. Okay. So 2.1.2, they say calculate the sum of the first 43 terms. Okay. So we should use the formula here. S n equals to, we should go to the formula sheet. Sn equals to, yes, it's n over 2. It's n over 2, then 2a plus, okay, n over 2, then 2a. Okay, so we have n over 2, then 2a plus n minus 1. So it means, therefore, sum of the first 43 terms equals to 43 over 2. And then we have 2 multiplied by 2 plus, and then 43 minus 1. And then the difference here is negative 5. And then you close the bracket. Okay. Then you type all this thing into a calculator. You get negative 4429. 2.1.3. Calculate the value of n for which Tn equals to. So we use the formula for Tn there. So Tn equals to A, and then plus n minus 1, then D. So it means, therefore, it's negative 2023 equals to the first term, which is 2 plus n minus 1, then into negative 5. So we're going to say, we take the 2 that side. Okay, so it becomes negative 2025 equals to negative 5 into n minus 1. So it's going to be, therefore, n will be equal to 2025 divided by 5 plus 1. Okay, so it's going to give you 406. Use a calculator here. So this is the n for this term. And then 2.2. 2.2, what do they want? We're given 2 and then into 3x minus 1 plus 2 into 3x minus 1 squared plus the other terms. So we can see that 3x minus 1 here is the ratio. So for 2, they say for which values of x is the series above convergent? So we should divide R equals to T2 over T1, isn't it? So it's going to be 2 and then 3x minus 1 squared, and then divided by 2 and then 3x minus 1. Okay, so it's going to be 3x minus 1. So if we want the thing to be convergent, what does that mean? It means that the ratio that we found here, the ratio that we have should be between what? 1 and -1 and 1. So it means, therefore, if we add 1 here, we get 0. We add 1 here, we get 3x. We add 1 here, we get 2. So it means, therefore, if we divide by 3, we get 0. And then here we get 2 over 3. So it will be convergent if it is between those values. Okay? If it's between those values, between 0 and 2 over 3, it will be convergent. Calculate the sum from 1 to infinity of 2 into 3x minus 1 to the exponent k if x equals to a half. So they say x equals to a half here, okay? Okay, so x equals to a half. So it means, because we know that the ratio equals to that, okay? Because to find the sum to infinity, okay, so here what's going to happen? We have to find a, isn't it? A, the first term, is going to be 2 into 3 and then 1 over 2, then minus 1, and then to the power of 1. So it's going to be equal to 2 multiplied by 1 over 2. So it's going to be 1. This is the first term. And then we have to find r, okay? R, which is 3x minus 1. So we're going to say 3 and then into 1 over 2 minus 1. Then the r is going to be 0.5. 0.5. So now when we do the sum to infinity, we know that the sum to infinity is equal to a over 1 minus r. So then it's going to be 1 divided by 1 minus 0.5. So it's going to be, you use a calculator here, you get 2. Yes, the sum to infinity is going to be 2 here. And then 2. Oh, sorry, this is 2.2.2. Should be a 2 here. Okay. So now let's go to 2.3. Okay. Let's go to 2.3 here. Okay, let me do it this side. 2.3. What are they saying here? 2.3. The first 3 terms of a geometric sequence has a sum of 21 and their product is 64. Okay, so determine the value of the first term if the common ratio is an integer. Okay, so we can make 2 equations here. We can say a, then plus ar, then plus ar squared equals to, so the first 3 terms, they're equal to They say they're equal to 21. And they say, and their product is 64. So it means A multiplied by AR multiplied by AR squared equals to 64. So this means that AR cubed, AR cubed here equals to, can this be a cube? Yes, it can be. It can be a 4 cubed. Yes. So it means therefore AR is equal to 4, isn't it? So this means therefore R, yes, R equals to, now let's say A equals to 4 over R, okay? A equals to 4 over R, right? And then we can substitute 4 over R here, isn't it? We substitute 4 over R, because we can say this is equation 1, and that is equation 2. So we can substitute 4 over R on equation 1. So we substitute 4 over R into 1, into equation 1. So it means therefore we have 4 over R plus, and then we substitute again 4 over R, then multiply by R, then plus, we substitute again 4 over R multiplied by R squared equals to 21. Then it's going to be, therefore, so this will help give us the what? The ratio. So it's going to be, if we multiply by R here, if we multiply by R here, we're going to get 4 plus 4R squared equals to 21. So then it means, therefore, 4R squared plus 4R, and then we minus here. It's going to be negative negative 17, yes. Is it negative 17? Okay, equals to 0. So now what's going to happen? Then can we factorize here? So this is a prime number, okay? It doesn't have any factors. Okay, is there any? Oh, yes, there is a mistake, eh? When we multiply by R here, we should multiply by R here as well. Oh my God. Sorry about that. I made a mistake here. I should have multiplied by R there. While removing R, I forgot to multiply by R there. So it means that it's going to be 4 plus 4R plus 4R squared, and then minus 21R equals to 0. So it's going to be, therefore, 4R squared. Okay, wait. What's it going to be? Sorry about that. So it's going to be 4 plus 4R minus 21R, then plus 4R squared equals to 0. So then it's gonna be 4r squared, then minus 17r, and then plus 4 equals to 0. Isn't it? Yeah, should be like that. So then we should try and factorize here, isn't it? Equals to 0. Okay. So we want the two negatives that will give us 17. So it's going to be 4r. Then here you have r. Then here you have 4. So it's going to be -4 and -1. Yes. Yes, it should be. So it's going to be 16 and then 17. Yes. So, so now what's going to happen? We find r. So we say therefore r equals to 1 over 4 or r equals to 4. But then they told us, isn't it, that if the common ratio is an integer, so we take 4, okay? We take 4. So meaning when we're looking for a, we're going to use the integer here, okay? So it means that therefore it's 4 over r, isn't it? So it means therefore a equals to 4 over r equals to 4 over 4. So a is equal to 1, okay? So that's it for question 2, okay? This is question 2. And then that's it for question 2. Let's go to question 3. Okay, now let's go to question 3. Okay? Consider the following quadratic number pattern. So we have 3, we have 12, and we have 33. So the difference here is what? If you minus this, you get a what? A 9. If you subtract this, you get a what? You get a 21. And then the difference between these two is what? This minus that, you get 12. Okay. So this over here is equal to what? 2a. This over here is what? It's going to be 3a plus b. Then this here is a plus b plus c. So 3.1 is saying write down the next term in the quadratic number pattern. So it means we must add a 12 here. If we add a 12, we're going to get what? So we say plus 12, we get 34. Okay. Then we say plus 34 here, we get what? We say plus 34, we get, okay, if we say plus 12 here, we get what? 33, yeah? Sorry. We get 33, this plus that. So this plus that, you get 66. So T4 equals to 66 here. Then 3.2, they say, write down, determine the general term. So we have to find A, B, and C. So we start here with 2A. We know that 2A equals to 12. So it means therefore A equals to 6. Okay, so we have A. So, and then we know that 3A plus B equals to 9. So it means therefore B equals to 9 minus 3 times 6. So B is gonna be equal to -9. And then A plus B plus C equals to 9 there. No, equals to 3. I'm sorry. Equals to 3. So it means 6 minus 9 plus C equals to 3. So it means therefore C will be equal to, this is going to be -3. It's going to be -3 plus 3. C will be equal to 6. Okay? So it means therefore, it means, so now this means what? We have, so this means that Tn equals to 6n squared minus 9n plus 6. Okay? This is the general term. Then 3.3. 3.3, what they want? Which two terms in the quadratic number pattern will have a difference of 345? So we must, because Tn here is going to be, towards there's a constant difference here, the first difference of what? Of 12. So Tn here is going to be, Tn here will be 9 plus, and then n minus 1 into 12. So it's going to be equal to 12n minus 3. Yes, 12n minus 3. Okay. So if I say which two terms, 345. So then we're going to say I want to say therefore 345 equals to 12n minus 3. So it means 12n equals to 348. And so we must find n. So n is going to be 348 divided by 12, which is going to be what? So you use a calculator here. Equals to 29. Okay. So it means that this thing, so it means that therefore it will be between T29 and T30. Yes, it will be between T29 and T30. How do we know? It's because the term here, 1, is between 1 and 2. Term 2 is between term 2 and 3. Term 3 is between term 3 and 4. So term 29 will be between term 29 and term 30. That's how we know. Okay. So, okay, that is it for question 3. Okay. So let us go to question 4. Okay, so let's go to question 4 now. Now, They say what? The diagram below shows the graphs of f of x, 2 over x plus 2 plus 1, and g of x, a into x plus 2 squared minus 8. Both graphs pass through the origin O. The vertical asymptote of f passes through D, the turning point of G. The asymptotes of f intersect at T. A is the other intercept of G. Write down the coordinates of D, the turning point of G. Okay. Write down the coordinates of D, the turning point of G. So, what are the coordinates of D? Okay. So, we get them from the graph here. So, F is this and G is this. So, the two things here, the coordinates of the turning point. So, 4.1 is going to be -2 and -8. Okay, we get them from here. And then 4.2, they say write down the equations of the asymptotes of f. Okay, so again, the asymptotes, we get them from where? From here and here. So it's going to be y equals to 1, x equals to, we change the x, okay? We change the x here, it becomes -2. The same thing we did here with p. So we go to 4.3. 4.3.1. They say determine the value of a, okay? The value of a here, we know that, okay, for g, we have y equals to a, and then x plus 2 squared, and then minus 8. They told us that both graphs pass through the origin O. So the origin, it means x and y is 0. So it's 0 equals to a, and then 0 plus 2 squared, then minus 8. So it means therefore a equals to 8 over 4, which is equal to 2. So that's the value of a. So the 8 comes this side, becomes positive, and then the 2 squared is 4. So we divide by 4. And then 4.3.2. 4.3.2, the length of OA. Okay. So the length of OA. So we just have to find the what? The intercepts, isn't it? So it means that g of x will be equal to 2, and then x squared plus 4x plus 4, and then minus 8. So it's equal to 2x squared plus 8x plus 8, then minus 8. So it's equal to 2x squared plus 8x, 0. So it means therefore 0 equals to, so it means therefore x equals to 0, or x equals to -4. So it means therefore OA equals to 4 units. A will give us 4 units. There shouldn't be x there. So that's a mistake. So x equals to -4. So meaning from here to there is -4. So it's 4 units. And then the range of f, 4.3.3. 4.3.3. the range of f, it means it's all the y values. It's going to be y, the element of all real numbers, except for what? Y is not equal to 1. Because at 1 here, there is an asymptote. But any other value of y is covered by the range. And then 4.3.4, they want what? The equation of the axis of symmetry with a negative gradient. So the negative gradient here, what will happen? You say y equals to negative x, and then now we say with a negative gradient, it means it should be negative here, okay? So, and then we're going to use the information that we have in the question, okay? So it means that looking at our asymptotes, this thing is then going to be equal to, we're then going to say, because we look at our asymptotes here. So it's then going to be negative x plus 2 and then plus 1. So this thing is then going to be equal to negative x minus 1. Our asymptotes of 2 and 1. Okay. And then let's go to 4.4. Okay. 4.4 and then 4.4.1. They say, for which values of x will g of x be less than 0? Okay. G of x is here. When will it be less than 0? It's less than 0 here, isn't it? When between negative 4 and 0, when it's below the x-axis. Okay, so it's between, x is between negative 4 and 0. So now, what will happen? Now, 4.4.2, they're asking when g of x multiplied by f of x is greater than or equal to 0. When they give you a positive number, okay? So it means they both have to be positive or both negative, okay? We can see that that applies where? Here, they are both negative here. And then this side, they are both positive, okay? So it's gonna be, and then this side, they are both positive as well. So it means it's gonna be x less than or equal to negative 4, or after negative 2 here, x is greater than or equal to negative 2, okay? And then 4.5, determine the values of k for which h of x is equal to negative g of x plus k will have two distinct roots with the same sign. Okay. Two distinct roots with the same sign. Okay. If we have two distinct roots with the same sign, it means that negative g is good. This graph is going to face upwards. Okay. Upwards. So the negative 8 will be the other side. So it means this thing will now look like that. Okay, it will look like this, and the 8 will be another side. Okay, so in that case, it means that negative g of x, if it faces down like that, it means the k here, okay? If the k here is, okay, if we say -8, because it's now going to be +8, yes. If we say -8, it will go down, okay? So it means that if we say -8, it will come to the x-axis here. So it means that that thing, the k has to be between -8 and 0. Yes, it has to be between -8 and 0, like that. Okay, yes, because -8 will bring it down. Okay, so that is it for question 4. Okay, question 4 was short. That is it for question 4. Let us go to question 5 now. Now let us look at question 5. They say in the diagram below, the graphs of f of x equals to 3 to the exponent x and g of x equals to -x plus 1 are given. Write down the coordinates of C. Okay, C here. This one x is 0. So x is 0 and y is 1. So C is going to be 0 and 1. Then 5.2. Okay, let me do 5.2 this side. 5.2, they say, write down the range of f of x. So y is greater than 0. 5.3, determine the equation of f inverse x in the form. So we must swap. I want to say x equals to 3 to the y. So therefore, log x equals to y log 3. So it means therefore, y equals to log x base 3. Then 5.4, they say, for which values of x is f prime of x less than, or not f prime, f inverse. So the inverse is here, we found it here. So we're going to say log x base 3 is less than 1. So it means therefore, we can find x. So it means x is going to be less than, or it's less than -1. So it's 3, -1. So this is the base, it becomes the base that side. So it means therefore, x is less than 1/3. Oh. So, but what? But x is greater than 0, because this is the what? This is the inverse. So it will be like that, isn't it? It will be like this. So it's going to be greater than 0. So it means therefore, it's going to be 0 greater than x, and then less than 1/3. Okay, that's it. 5.5. They're saying if PQ is parallel to SR parallel to y-axis, and QR is parallel to the x-axis, determine the coordinates of S. Okay, so what do we do here? We know that what? G of x is equal to -x plus 1. So we can substitute the y value here. So then we're going to say, therefore, So at P there, the Y value is 0. So we say 0 equals to negative X plus 1. So it means therefore X equals to 1. So it means therefore P has the coordinates of what? 1 and 0. 1 and 0. The X is 1, the Y is 0. And then we go on. At Q, we know the X value there at Q, isn't it? So we're going to say Y equals to, so we use this, the F of X, which is exponential, equals to 3 to the X, equals to 3 to the power 1, equals to 3. So it means therefore a Q has the coordinates of what? 1 and 3. And then we go to R, because we know the coordinates of Q here. So now we go to R. We're going to say, again, we use the straight line here at R. Negative X plus 1 equals to 3, because at Q here, Y is 3. And then we can find X. So X is going to be equal to negative 2. So it means that, therefore, the coordinates of R are what? Negative 2 and 3. So now we can find the coordinate of S, because at S here, we know that X value is negative 2. So then we come here, again at S, we're going to use the exponential, okay? So your Y here is going to be equal to 3. Then we substitute X here, which is negative 2, which is going to be equal to 1 over 9. So it means therefore the S here is X is negative 2 and Y is 1 over 9. Okay, so that's it for 5.5. Then 5.6. So again, we found S here. 5.6 is asking us, describe the translation of f of x to p of x equals to. So p of x is here. Okay, p of x is this. So p of x, right? P of x will be equal to, so it's equal to 3 into 3 to the power x, then minus 2. So it is equal to 3 and then x plus 1 and then minus 2. So they say, describe the translation of f of x to p of x. So p of x is this. So what is the translation here? So it's going to be a shift. It's going to be a horizontal shift. A horizontal shift. A horizontal shift of 1 unit to the left and a vertical shift. A vertical shift of 2 units down. This is 3 the definition here or the description of the translation that happened from F to P. Okay. So, yes, that's it for question 5. Let us go to question 6. Okay, so now let's go to question 6. Now, here what's happening. The purchase price of a machinery bought by a company 5 years ago was 80,000. Using the reducing balance method, calculate the annual rate of depreciation if the current book value of the machinery is 20,000. Okay, so the reducing balance method says what? A equals to P, and then 1 minus I, and then to the exponent n. So the current book value is what? Is 20,000. So it's 20,000 equals to 80,000. Then 1 minus I, and then to the power 5. So we divide by, so the zeros will cancel out. And then so you have 1 over 4 equals to, and then we can take the fifth root. Okay, we can take the fifth root here, and then we have 1 minus I. So if we want I here, we can, it's gonna be, the I comes this side, it becomes positive. So it becomes 1 minus the fifth root of 1 over 4. Q1. Okay, and then 4, 1. This is what I get. So if it's like that here, then we multiply by 100, and then we get 24.21%. Okay, so that is the I. Then 6.2. 6.2. Say, calculate the effective interest rate per annum of an investment earning interest at 8.5% per annum compounded quarterly. Okay, so we use the formula 1 plus I effective will be equal to 1 plus I nominal divided by m to the exponent of m. So it's going to be therefore. So this, what we have here, we can substitute here. This is equal to 1 plus, then it's 8.5%. So it's 8.5% here divided by 4. This quarterly. There are 4 quarters in a year. So if we want this, we have to take 1 the other side. So effective interest rate will then be equal to, then 1 plus 8.5%, then over 4, and then to the power 4, and then minus 1. And then it's going to be equal to, you use a calculator here, it's 0.0877. So we multiply by 100, you get 8.77%. And then 6.3, okay? 6.3 here, they say, a parent made an initial deposit of Rx into a study investment account. 3 years later, a further amount of 15,000 rand is deposited into the account. 5 years after the initial deposit was made, 7,000 was okay. So 7,000 was withdrawn from the account. And then they say the interest rate for the first 5 years was 11% per annum compound monthly. Thereafter, the interest rate changed to 12% per annum compounded half yearly. Okay. So calculate in terms of X, how much money was in the account 3 years after the initial deposit was made. This answer should not include the second deposit. Okay, so we use the compound formula here. A equals to P and then 1 plus I. So it's equal to X and then 1 plus 11% over 12. 36, so it's equal to 1.39x. Okay, so let's go to 6.3.2. Now, if the investment was worth 90,132.56 after 8 years, calculate the initial amount that was deposited. That is the value of X. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay. So they say after 8 years, it's gonna be okay. So after 8 years, what happens? We're going to a so the initial amount here is gonna be, so they said the initial deposit of X so what we have here is there is a value of X, right? That was initially deposited, right? And then, so we should apply the formula here. We say 1 plus, and then it was 11% per compounded monthly, like that. Okay. And then for 3 years, so it's 36. And then they say another 15,000 was added. Okay. Okay. before a withdrawal of 7,000 was made. Okay. And then, so now we're then going to have then half yearly. Okay. It changed to half yearly and then it's 12%. So it's going to be 12% divided by 12% here divided by 2 and then to the power of 6. And then all of this will be equal to, they gave us an amount here of 90,132. So equals to 90,132.56. So then we have to simplify here. So then what's going to happen here is we must divide by this here. We say therefore it's going to be x and then into 1 plus 11% over 12 to the power of 36. And then when we minus here, okay, this, they should minus one another. It's going to be plus 8,000. And then it's going to be equal to 90,132. Then we divide by this bracket here. So it's going to be 1 and then 12% over 2 and then to the power 6. Okay, so the bracket here goes. Then we have to take the 8,000 that side. Okay, and then after that, we're going to divide. So it's going to be x into 1 plus 11% over 12 over 36 equals to 90.56 divided by, and then minus 8,000. And then 12% over 2, then 6. So we have to then divide by this bracket. So we have to divide here and there. So then x then will be equal to, so we then say therefore x is equal to okay, so we have to have the two brackets, this and that. 1 plus 11% over 12 and then to the power 36. And then we also have this, so it's 1 plus 12% over 2 and then to the power of 6 and then divided by, so these two, they divide 132.56 and then minus 1 plus 11% over 12 to the power of 36 and then 8,000 equals to. So you use your calculator here, okay? You plug all this into a calculator, then it gives you 30,000. Yes. So 30,000 was initially invested there. So, okay, that is it for question 6. Let's go to question 7. Let us look at question 7 now. So we must determine f prime of x from first principle. So f of x plus h here will be equal to 1 over 2 x plus h squared. So it's going to be 1 over 2 x squared plus 2xh plus h squared equals to x squared over 2 plus xh so then f of x plus h minus f of x is then equal to x squared over 2 plus xh plus h squared over 2 and then minus x squared over 2. So then this is going to be equal to xh plus h squared over 2, which is equal to h into x plus h over 2. So then h over 2, yes, we take out the factor here. So then f prime of x according to first principles equals to limit sh is approaching 0 of what? So it's going to be f of x plus h minus f of x. So it's going to be the limit sh is approaching 0, f of x, and then it's going to be, we found this already, so it's going to be h over 2, then divided by h, so it's going to be the limit h approaching 0 of what? X plus h over 2. So we can say this is equal to 0 over 2, which is equal to x. So that is f of x, f of prime, f prime of x, I mean to say. So now let's go to 7.2. 7.2.1. We are supposed to find f prime of x. So 7.2.1, f prime of x will be equal to 5 multiplied by that is going to be 1, and then 5 minus 1, and then we multiply the two negatives, we get a positive 12, and then 2 minus 1, so it's going to be x to the power 4 plus 12 over x cubed. Yeah, and then 7.2.2. It's going to be x plus square root of x. So it's going to be square root of x. Plus 2x root x plus x. So then it's going to be, so this is equal to d over dx. And then this is going to be x squared plus 2. Then we say 1 plus half is going to be 3 over 2 plus x. So this is going to be equal to 2x plus 3. So you multiply here, we get 3, then x to the power half, and then plus 1. So it's the same as 2x plus 3 square root of x minus 1. Okay, so that's it for question 7. Let us go to question 8. Okay, so now let's go to question 8. Now, we're given a cubic function here, f of x equals to negative x cubed plus 12x minus 16. Show that x minus 2 is a factor of f of x. So, how do we show that this? We substitute 2, okay? We substitute a positive 2 here because we have a negative, so we change the sign. So, f of 2, okay? F of 2 will be equal to negative 2 cubed plus 12 into 2 and then it's going to be negative 8 so it's going to be equal to 0. Determine the x-intercepts of f. Okay, so the x-intercept y is equal to 0, so it's going to be 0 equal to negative x cubed plus 12x minus 16. So we know that x minus 2 is a factor, so it's one of the factors, is x minus 2. And then what do we do here? To get negative x cubed, we must have negative x squared. And then in order to get negative 16 here, we must have positive 8, isn't it? Yes, we must have positive 8. And then what happens next? We must have something in the middle. If we want to have 0, so there are no x squared. Okay, so there is no x squared here. So it means that this and that is going to give us 2x squared, right? So it means this one must give us, it's going to give us 2x squared. So this one must give us negative 2x squared. Yes. So this one must give us negative 2x squared if we want to have that. So then it's going to be therefore If we want to simplify it, we can say x minus 2, and then we can take out the negative. That's going to be plus 2x minus 8. So then we have 0 equals to x minus 2. And then what we have here is x, and then x, and then we have, if we want to have a 2 here, we must have a positive 4 and a negative 2. So it means therefore x equals to 2 or x equals to negative 4. So there are two, so meaning there's a turning point here. Determine the coordinates of the turning points. So for the turning points, the derivative is equal to 0. So it means therefore, we're going to say 0 equals to negative 3x squared plus 12. So it means therefore, x squared equals to 4. So it means therefore, x equals to negative plus or minus 2. So So now let's come here. Sorry about that, guys. Those are my students. So now there is a plus and minus here. So now we must substitute the 2 into the original equation here. Okay, so f of 2 and f of negative 2. So f of 2, we substitute here. It's going to be negative 2 and then to the power 3 plus 12 and then 2 and then minus 16. So then it's going to be negative, then negative 2 plus 12 and then negative 2 and then minus 16. So we get what here? You use a calculator. Good. Here we get a 0 and from the thing. Then here you get negative 32. Okay, so it means therefore, it's gonna be 2 and 0 and negative 2 and negative 32. So now we have these are the two turning points. Now, sketch the graph of f, clearly indicating the turning points and intercepts with the axis. So we know the coordinates of the what? Of the turning points here, isn't it? So we are going to say so at 2 and 0 here. There's going to be a turning point, and then at -2. So we have 2 here. Then we have -2. And then here we can say -32. So there's going to be a turning point here. And then the graph is going to cut where? They gave us that. It's going to cut at -16. It's going to cut at -16. So we use so it's gonna be, then you have a turning point here, and then you have an intercept, then you have another turning point there, and then you're gonna have another intercept. So here is -2 and -32. Then here you have 2 and 0. So now we have what? So if you have, okay, so we must add another intercept here. We found the intercept, isn't it? So we must add them there. It's -4. So here you have -4. Okay. Now they say determine the equation of the tangent at the point of inflection. So we must find the point of inflection, meaning we must find this. We must find the derivative of the derivative. So 8.1.5. The second prime of x is going to be equal to -6x. So it means that, therefore, if it's the point of inflection, it's going to be 0 equals to -6x. So it means, therefore, x will be equal to 0. You understand? So we must substitute. So it means that y will be equal to -16, isn't it? So it will be at the y-intercept. So the point of inflection will be 0 and what? -16 here. Okay, so, and we have to show that. So this is -16 here. This is the point of inflection. Okay, so we have to find the gradient here. The gradient is going to be equal to f prime of 0, which is going to be equal to, it's going to be f prime of 0, which is going to be, we use this here. So it's going to be -3, 0 squared plus 12, which is equal to 12. Okay. So now what do we have here? We have the gradient and we have the point of inflection. So the tangent is going to pass at that point. So then what then do we do? We use this as a point. We use the point of inflection here as a point. So then we can find the equation of the tangent here using a straight line equation. Y minus x minus 0. So y equals to 12x minus 16. So this is the equation of the tangent at the point of inflection. So now, why do we have now 8.1.5 is like that. Sorry. So now let's go to 8.2. So now 8.2, they say a sketch graph of p prime of x is given below. So this is a sketch of the derivative. They say for which values of x is the graph of p of x increasing? When is the thing increasing? It's increasing when the derivative is positive. When it's positive. So 8.2.1 here, it is positive for all values except for at 0 here at the origin. So it's all the real numbers except what? X is not equal to 0. At 0, it is not increasing. It's now stationary, isn't it? It's 0. So 8.2.2, they say, for which values of x is the graph of p of x concave up? Okay. Concave up, it means the second derivative. Yes, positive. So what is going to happen here? This is negative here and it's positive here. So it is this, yeah, because the current is negative here. Here the current is positive. So it's concave up when x is greater than 0. Yes. So that's it for question 8. Let us go to question 9. Okay, now let's go to question 9. They say in the diagram below, ABCD is a square with side length CD equals to 200 centimeters. PQRS is a rectangle with vertices on the sides of the square. PB equals to BQ equals to SD equals to DR equals to X centimeters. Show that the area of the rectangle is given by area. Okay. We find PQ. We find PQ here. How do we find PQ? PQ is going to be the square root of x squared plus x squared. So it's going to be the square root of 2x squared so this is PQ, sorry. PQ, PQ, yes, this side. And then we have to find QR. So QR, what's going to happen? We have to say RC and QC. So QR is going to be the square root of 200 minus x squared plus 200 minus x squared. So it's going to be root 2 and then 200 minus x. So the square will go away here. Area here will be equal to So equals to root 2x multiplied by QR, which is root 2, then 200 minus x. So this is going to be equal to 2. Root 2 and root 2 is 2. Then the x you multiply it here, it's going to be 200x minus x squared. Determine the value of x for which the area of the rectangle will be a maximum. So we have to find the derivative. So a prime of x here will be equal to 400 minus 4x minus 4x, yes. So it means that it will be equal to 0. So it means that therefore we can take 4x that side. So x is going to be 100 centimeters. Right. So that's the value of x. Then 9.3. What is the ratio of the maximum area of PQRS? So if we want the maximum area, we have to say A equals to 2, then 200 into 100, and then minus 100 all squared. So it is equal to, so it's going to be 2 and then into, so this is going to be 20,000 minus 10,000. It's going to be 10,000. So it's going to be 20,000 centimeter squared. And then the area for the square, so A square is going to be equal to 200 multiplied by 200. So it's going to be 40,000 centimeter square. So the ratio, maximum area of PQRS, so it means therefore ratio equals to 20,000 to 40,000. So equals to, so the ratio is 1:2. So this is the ratio, or you can say 1/2. Okay? 1:2. So, okay, question 9 was short, okay? And was relatively short. Let's go to question 10. Okay, now let's go to question 10. Now, question 10 here is about probability. They say events A and B are independent events. It is further given that probability of A is 0.6 and probability of B is 0.5. Are the events mutually exclusive or motivate your answer? So we must show that, okay, if they're mutually exclusive, it means that the probability of A and B is equal to 0. Okay. Here we're going to say no. Okay. No. Why? Because if they are independent, it means probability of A and B, okay, probability of A and B is equal to probability of A multiplied by probability of B. So it's going to be 0.6 multiplied by 0.5. So it's going to be 0.3. So it's not equal to 0. So it means that the probability of A and B is not equal to 0. So it's not equal to 0. So the two are not mutually exclusive. Represent the information on the Venn diagram, on a Venn diagram. See? Okay. So we found this A and B. So what is going to happen here? We have a sample space. We have a sample space like that. So where the sample space equals to 1, and then the two events overlap at some point. Okay, sorry about the drawing. So we can have A and B here, A and B. And then the 2 is 0.3. 0.3 is the probability of A and B here. Yeah? And then what is left for B is, because B is 0.5. Yeah? So it means that what is left here is 0.2. And then for A, you have 0.6. So it means that what is left to this side is 0.3. Together they make up 0.6. So to have a 1 here, we must have another 0.2. Okay? And then 10.1.3, they say calculate the probability of only A. So the probability of only A this side. Okay? So P only A will be equal to 0.6 minus 0.3. And it's going to be equal to 0.3. Then the probability not A or not B. So the probability of not A, not B is going to be equal to, so we have to do A not A or not B will be equal to P not A. So this is the formula, isn't it? Plus P not B minus P not A and not B. So now 10.2.1. The continuous table below represents 100 learners' responses regarding camping. Like camping, okay? Dislike camping 14, total 38. Okay. Girls who like camping are 30, who don't like camping 32, and the total is 62. Okay, so they say if a learner from this group is chosen randomly, what is the probability that it is a girl? Okay, so there's a total of 100 learners, and then there is 62 girls. So the probability of a girl will be equal to 62 over 100. So now they say, is the event like camping independent of the gender? Okay, so independent of the gender. So, okay, so here we're going to say the probability of a boy, okay, is equal to 38 over 100. And then probability like camping. Those who like camping is equal to, so those who like camping is 54. Okay, so it's 54 over 100. Okay, so it means therefore the probability of a boy multiplied by the probability that they like camping is going to be the two fractions together. So it's going to be 38 over 100 multiplied by 54 over 100. So it's going to be 0 0.2, then 25. Now, we can see from the table here, what is the probability that is a boy and he likes camping. Okay? So, like camping, boy, okay, 24. So, now, probability that he's a boy and like camping is equal to 24 over 100 from the table. So equals to 0 0.24. So this means, therefore, the two events are not equal. So they are not independent because this is not equal to that. So it means, therefore, the two events are not independent. The two events So let's go to 10.3. So 10.3, they say uh, there are only red balls and green balls in a bag. A ball is taken at random from the bag. The probability that the ball is green is 3 out of 7. The ball is replaced in the bag. 2 more red balls and 2 more green balls are put in the bag. Thereafter, a ball is taken at random from the bag, and the probability that this ball is green is 6 out of 13. Determine how many of each color ball was originally in the bag. Okay, so we can see from here, from what? The probability here. Yeah? So the ball is green, is 3 out of 7. So it means the red is 4 out of 7. So what happens? The original ratio, hmm, the original ratio, uh, green to red will be 3x is to 4x. So they add up to 7. So it means therefore green plus red equals to 7x, 3x plus 4x. So the new ratio, so the new ratio for green to red is gonna be 3x plus 2. They say 2 more balls and 3 more green balls are put in the bag. So 2 more red balls and 3 more green balls. Yes. So the new ratio is going to be plus 3 green balls. And then it's going to be 4x plus 2. This is red. Yeah? 2 more red balls. 2. So meaning, therefore, in the new situation, green plus red, if you add the 2, you add this and this. So green plus red will be equal to 7x plus 5. So therefore, 3x plus 3 divided by 3x plus 5 equals to 6 over 13. Okay, the fraction is given here. So now we must solve for what? For x, isn't it? So we must solve for x. So we cross multiply, yeah? It's gonna be no, it should be 7x here plus 5, sorry. 7x plus 5. So then we cross multiply. Yeah? 6 times 7 is 42x plus 30 equals to 39x plus 39. So you solve for x. So you bring the 39 this side. So it's going to be 42x minus 39x equals to 9. So we minus there. It's going to be therefore. If we minus here, it's going to be 3x equals to 9. So it means therefore x equals to 3. See? So if we have x, then we can substitute x, isn't it? We can substitute x here and x there. No, not here, but so it will mean therefore originally, what was there originally? Yeah. If we can see that x equals to 3, it means originally green balls are 9 and red balls are 12. Are 12. Okay, so yes, guys, that's it for this paper here. So guys, please leave your questions in the comments. I hope that was helpful, and I will see you on the next one.